take a picture of them first. Do you know how blessed you are to be in a unit meeting with this powerhouse trio?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, and just how they set up. So I'm taking pictures from Dallas and slideshows, and I'm gonna be like showing off.
Okay.
This is how it's done. And we were even talking among the national sales directors, just getting pictures of the unit meetings. And to see, first of all, to walk in and see the expression and just to be greeted, thank you, and I'm going up the wrong side of the street. And it's really fun. And it is a joy to be here. It's a privilege. When Audrey just said earlier this week, can you come? I was supposed to be in Roanoke, and the doors opened, and grateful it worked out. And I have a disabled husband. He was an engineer and had a brain bleed, and so that was 3.5 years ago, but he can't be left alone, he can't drive. And so I got a call about half an hour before here saying, hey, bring him on over to our life group. We've been with this church or whatever, and so we dropped him off. So I'm sorry I was running late, but he was happy as a camper to be doing something on tonight while I'm out doing this, because I was going to drag him along because there's no one to stay at home. So we're really thankful that we could be here, and what a joy just to see your unit. So I want to do a little count. Who is going to seminar already? Just share that. Oh my goodness, one is already registered. Who isn't registered yet, but you're going to think about going? Okay, Dana, who else? Anybody else? Okay, good. Anybody else? It's just kind of on the fence. Okay. Wow. Well, I just want to put in my plug, because I joined in January of the first year that I went, and I quit my full-time job in like the end of April, beginning of May, and they were talking about this Dallas thing, and I thought, I cannot afford to go to Dallas. I am a newlywed, and I don't want to be away from my husband. I really don't have the money to go, and what's this Dallas thing? But you get to see the company headquarters, and this year we're doing a private tour of company headquarters because they're showing off their new manufacturing plant. So you don't want to miss that, but just to see the picture. And really, if I could put in a plug for everything great that Audrey said, it would be at Dallas. And you'll get to see, it's so fun just training from the top people. You'll get to see them put tiaras on the queens. You'll get to hear training from women that are making $500,000 a year and loving their lives and have balance and keep God first, family second, career third. So if there's any way you can tweak a schedule, ask off, do a yard sale to get the extra money, sell your Mary Kay. I mean, you really could get the funds to be there. And I thought that was really a hard thing when I first started, but I am so glad I went, and we would love to still get you there, and that is, it is a big deal. So, alrighty. I'm glad I'm not the only one who walked past. This just looks sharp. So I also want to say, when you're there, oh my goodness, do you realize we've got like the #1 recruiter probably. You may see Megan McDowell with a crown on her head. She has been our queen of recruiting and just has done fantastic things. So you're going to see just what a big deal it is to be in this room with these trainers. And then Kristen, who also stepped up to directorship. Look how young they are. I mean, they're leading in a big corporation. And just really taking their example, their expertise. I got to sit in here at Kristen at the last meeting, just go through her booking scripts and just the way, just put together, people skills sharp. And so you see the kind of people. And then Audrey, oh my goodness, right now, and she still is, has been for many, many years, our #1 director in our entire Dunn area, which is a big deal. And Audrey's done the million. She is also on track for that Hawaii trip. You'll see the little group up there that gets to go to Hawaii. Out of the masses that are in the audience, you'll realize, oh my goodness, you're trained by the best of the best. So I would love for you to experience that and see it as we do. So thanks guys for doing a good job. This is very impressive. And just the group and how you do the recognition and welcome. So glad you're here. Team building. Oh my goodness. What can I add to what Megan has probably already shared with you that is working immensely? She has 33 new team members already personally this year. You only have to do 24 to be on the national court and get your Diamond Bumblebee. And they all have to be qualified, not just people that got a showcase, but women that moved forward in their business and said, I'm putting a little skin in the game, I'm ready to get going. And so to get their Diamond Bumblebee. So she was the first one, I think, one of the first ones to run across that finish line and then just to keep going. So it's really fun to see where she will be on awards night. But if anybody can teach team building, it would be her. And if anybody can also teach team building, it's her sister, because she also has not only taken her unit, got from 0 in your showcase. Did any recruits crawl out of your showcase? No, you had to go find them. Team members and doing that, and you took that and built to a unit 24 and then continued to build and did fabulous 50s, and it's just been fun to see you make those milestones, Kristen, and to stretch. And when she puts her mind to something, she does it, and part of that is team building. So And of course, we don't have to talk about with Audrey being #1 and over 200 unit at times, and I mean, just incredible leadership. So they know how to do it. Whatever I add today is icing on the cake. If it goes against what they're saying, don't listen to me. Fair enough? Okay. So, but it is a joy. I think it's fun. I remember Mary Kay saying, pass it on. As a brand new consultant going to Dallas, and I had just earned my red jacket, and they didn't give $100 bonuses back then. We got the 4%. My first commission check in Mary Kay 33 years ago was $17. Came in the mail, saw this little pink check, and it said 17. And I got to tell you, back then, that was a tank of gas. I'm dating myself. But, you know, as a young newlywed and just getting started and working at that defense plant, it was a job that I wasn't really thrilled with. And before that, I worked at a Christian mental hospital. My degree is in psychology, and I just had clerical skills, so that's how I got into the defense plant. But I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to get to share my faith. I'm going to get to work and use my psychology. I'm going to move up and go into Christian counseling. And then we got married, moved an hour away from that hospital. So I kind of diminished that dream a little bit. And then working at that defense plant, I thought, this is not how I want to raise kids. How would I ever go home and have any semblance of family life if I'm working full time? And so I kept thinking, what am I going to do when I have children? And my husband was a mechanical engineer, and he made me promise we would have 4 children when we were married. So that I knew that was on the deal, and it has been wonderful. But it would have been impossible with any other company. So I see some of you juggling with kids, and how many of you do have children? Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy even going to the grocery store with kids. But there's no other better business than Mary Kay to juggle it all. It's not perfect. Life is not perfect. I hope you probably realize that already. But Mary Kay is about as great as it gets as an opportunity. So when we have something like Mary Kay as an opportunity for all different age levels, for all different income brackets, for all different sizes and shapes and backgrounds, for all different, wow, it's an opportunity like no other. I wake up and I just pinch myself to think of 33 years. I usually get bored with things really easily. But with Mary Kay, you set your own goals, you set your own pay level. You can decide, do I want to be a 6-figure work-from-home mom? Or do I just want to skimp to get by? Do I want to go, instead of going to Macy's and working for an 8-hour shift, or do I want to go out and hold a skincare class and make as much in 2 hours as I would have at that time? And then still get paid for it year after year after year. And really, the reorders are great, and they add up. The sales are great. You can make well over $25, $30 an hour. These gals, they'd sneeze at that because it's a lot more than that. But let's just under-promise and over-deliver. But that's still great money, isn't it? And so you get to decide, do you want to do it 10 hours a week, or do you want to do it 40 hours a week? Have you ever gotten a nasty note from your boss that says, why didn't you show up for work today? Or, hey, a call saying I'm going to let you go because you weren't here on time, or you had to choose between sick kids and being at work? Or no, you don't get that in Mary Kay, and we're really blessed. So think about all the things that you love about it. What are the things you love about it? Can I just get some interaction? And by the way, can I ask who's in, this is just fun to see the McDowell, who's in the Audrey McDowell unit who's stretching for that $650,000 this year to make sure Todd and Audrey go to, okay, I'm clapping for you, good. And Morgan, it was so cute to get your little text, see you tonight. Yeah. It's really good to see you here, that you fit that in, and good to see you, baby's home fine. Okay, last time I saw her, she was at a meeting and she was expecting it. So it's kind of fun to get the catch up, and good to meet you, Allison, face to face here again. I remember seeing you in Dallas, but this is fun. Okay, so back to that, and by the way, I did put a postcard in the mail, and it said, I can't wait to see Dr. Todd do the hula. So you better grab that postcard before he gets it, since he doesn't know. And I was telling her story too at just on the phone today while I'm out there and talking about surprising. So Haley Allen was talking about stretching for dreams and a cruise, and she kind of, talked about maybe I should just give up on that. I'm like, are you kidding? Do you know how fun it would be to surprise your husband with a trip? Totally paid for by Mary Kay, all the ins and outs, flying you down there. There's 1 week left in this cruise opportunity, and it's not too late. There will be people that just joined in June that go. We had a lady that when they first opened the contest in January, she won it within that month. And she made it happen. You could still make it happen. This is like the bloom time in Mary Kay, in case you haven't kind of put that together. Whatever we do the first half of the year, I mean, we just double it in the second half, and especially this month. This is the month and the week that dreams come true. So if you're sitting there thinking, I would like to earn that red jacket. I would like to move up and be a senior consultant. I'm going to challenge you to take a leap in your business, to not be satisfied with status quo where you are. You can make 50% commission on sales as a consultant, and that's very generous. I don't know of any other company that matches that or has what we have in Mary Kay. Also, I don't know any other company. I mean, I know they can sell things and make more than 50% commission, but where is a consumable that you just, while they're using it and it's going down the drain and they call you 6 months later for more cleanser, more moisturizer, and you continue to make money year after year from work you did this year? I mean, I'm still getting paid from 33 years ago in work that I did with 100 beautiful guinea pigs. I was told that if you get to 100 customers in your first year, there would be a car in there. I'm like, okay. And they said, go do and get 100 great customers. So we set out to do 100 great customers. I was told to take a before and after picture. That helps because then they see the difference. And we didn't have the fancy cell phones back then. We had the little things and the light bulbs went off with the 4 flash bulbs on top. I'm dating myself again. So consider yourself blessed. And then you make these cute pic collages where they can see right flat in front of them, ugly, pretty, right? And so time-wise is just rolling right off your shelves. So get to 100 clients. And then I was taught, as you go, as you're doing your job, as they see you just had a $500 class, you had fun, you look wonderful, your job is to make women look great and feel great. You have the class, the hostess is happy, everybody's eating, you're going home looking beautiful, and then you say to anybody that's there, do you like them? First of all, you ask yourself, do I like her? Because you got to work with her. You're going to have her up here and say, I'm going to be working side by side with Hannah, and I'm going to get to do this with Heather. Do you see how proud they are? And I am glad that you're proud, because there are a lot of sharp cookies, and I agree, there's some directors sitting in the room. I truly see that. Who said, Dawn, look at me, I'm going to be a director? Anybody that's already dreaming about a car directorship? Okay, good, we got one bold. We have 2? Yes, okay, thank you. I was hoping to sit back there hoping I would get that. Okay, so yes, and you're in. In my mind, it's a done deal. So, back to here. But, get to 100 clients and ask yourself, do I like them? Because you get to pick who you work with. Another thing is, do they love the product? You've already just sold them on it. They're happy with the product. I don't care if she's Miss America. If she hates the product and she has a really bad attitude, I personally would not want to work with her. Do you know what I mean? And so I just see if she likes the product. That might mean she bought a lot. It might mean that she really loved it and couldn't afford it that day, but don't overlook that. Did she love the product? And then the third thing I ask her, would I be upset if somebody else recruited her? And I'm a big stickler on this because in Mary Kay we have to go give, we don't take each other's customers. But if you do somebody and you do not offer her, if you facial her, that's what I mean by do somebody. If you facial her, kind of watching that language these days. If you facial her and then you don't share the opportunity with her, and she goes to a party and meets with Dana, they're at a baby shower talking about how fun it is, and she's in Mary Kay driving her free car and loving life, and do you know her senior director, Megan McDowell, and all this is coming up. And she's like, well, my consultant never asked me. If she gets excited, not that we steal each other's customers, you try to send them back, but if I were her, I wouldn't want to go back, number one. But really, truly, you need to be asking so they can say, yes, my consultant asked me about that. We'll go back and talk to her about it. I think you'd be great. And then she's doing the go-give thing, and plus you've told them about it. And your sister consultant will reinforce you in what a great decision that you're getting ready to make. You guys are helping each other. It's a real sisterhood. But did you hear me? Don't go back into your customer base right now. Go back into everybody that you know. Make a list of all the people you know with skin to breathe. I bet you know a lot from that business, don't you? And so you make that list, put a star. Did you do this? Put a star beside the ones that you think would be great. We're always making prospect lists. And if you have trouble with that, I want you just to stop and think, if somebody gave me $1,000 for every name I could come up with, they'd be flying off your pencil onto that paper, wouldn't they? They would be. So it's a gold mine in there, just putting the names down. I don't know whether they'll say yes or no, but I know it's a definite no if you don't ask. Would you enjoy a makeover with Mary Kay? Would you enjoy trying our skincare, known as one of the best on the market today? Could I treat you and pamper you? If you went to a spa, it would definitely be over $100 value, and we get to do it free in the privacy of your own home. Would you have fun with that? And notice you're shaking your head up and down, not like this, but just looking at them this way, because it's hard to go like this when you're going like this. So, getting first of all, people excited about the product, sharing, asking people, not being afraid. I love to just pray every morning, Lord, who needs Mary Kay? or who needs Jesus. That's my prayer every morning, because I either want to share the product or share about him, but put them in front of me. And then it's a divine appointment. If you have somebody walk by you, and you might be Chicken Little, and you might look at her and say, she looks too good. I bet she's already happy with what she's using. I bet she'd be too busy. I don't know. So you have your makeup on, whether you're heading to the working out, or at least your skincare on if you're going to the gym or whatever, and you still look cute. But I would still ask her, and I would just say, has anyone ever treated you to a Mary Kay makeover? I'd love to be the one to treat you. Or I love your lipstick. Have you ever tried Mary Kay? I'd love to be the one to treat you. If she's already tried it and she's got a consultant, then you just affirm her and say, oh, I'm so glad. I know, Kristen, you're in good hands. That's great. You're a good advertisement for us. And let her go. But if you don't ask, you miss 100% of shots you never take, right? So now you've asked her, she has a makeover. Where you're going to do this is turn it around and share. How many of you really working your business full circle? Really full circle from the get-go. You facial her, you're going to book her for a second appointment, and you're also going to share with her. And this is different. Different people do it differently. Hey, I'd like to get together with you over lunch, or hey, can we meet for coffee tomorrow morning, or whatever. With 4 kids, I just kind of learned, oh my goodness, I better get as much done as this one shot while I have the sitter at home as I can get done here. And so I just sold. It's great to come away with all those thick tickets and see you just sold 600. And then you book them for their second session. So if you're my happy little class here, and I get 5 that bought the skincare, and you booked follow-up facials, and then as we get to the end, I'd say, you know, Brandy, have you ever thought of doing something like this? Most of them say no. How many of you said no? Yeah, it was like that wasn't on my radar. But so I just said, have you ever thought about it? She'd say no. Say, you know what? I would love for just share some quick fun facts with you. Would you be willing to hang around for an extra 10 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. And then they train you. You have probably watched them do interviews. How many of you watched them do interviews? Whether they use a recruiting notebook, whether they have they're on their flip charts, whether they, I don't know how you're sharing it, but whatever they're doing is working. Right? Okay. And so watching them do it, watching how they share the information, watching how they put that together, whatever they're doing, do it. I used to go through a recruiting notebook, like similar to this, and take 10 minutes and fly through the quick fun facts. Okay, and it was kind of like show and tell, and just the Mary Kay story and our products on here. And I would say, which are your favorite products? Great, Mary Kay gives us a privilege of keeping products on hand. This is some of the reasons that I chose to do Mary Kay, because I was a tomboy and never wore makeup. And I just love the whole experience of the skincare. I wanted to be at home with 4 children, because we did have 4 children in 5 years. And I got to meet Mary Kay Ash, and I love to share about how to know God personally. So your little I story. I also say, gosh, I never realized it'd be our way to buy a farm. It would be our way to pay our first house off in 7 years. Some of the other goodies that have come, and you speak from the heart on this. I mean, if she's a young girl, I'm going to talk about how quickly you pay off your school debt. I'm going to talk about how we paid our first house off in 7 years. I'm going to talk about how wise it was to set ourselves up to be a 6-figure work-from-home mom with 4 children, because I did want to be there. And if she's a stressed-out business owner, what I love about this is I can work from home. I can set my own hours. I'm my own boss. I love it. All the support that you get in Mary Kay, it's already set up in a business. So you don't always have to say the same thing, but this needs to come from the heart. And then I just shared, hey, Mary Kay praises you to success. I've got Audrey and Todd here. This is so fun out at one of the major balls. She always looks like $1 million, and just different pictures in here. And then I share how we make our money. I fly through that, because most of them are like, how many of you, your jaw hit the ground when you heard you made 50%? Wow, you just made 50%. Did I see? My mom bought a time-wise repair. I bought a time-wise repair. Oh my goodness, $600. She made $300. That was like a revelation, wasn't it? How many of you had that moment? My person was not, my consultant was not pushy. I wasn't going to buy a thing. I told her I had $7 in my checkbook, and I didn't like pushy salespeople, but it really was free. She could come over and do a makeover. It was Black Friday. We were up visiting my in-laws. I bought 130. My mother-in-law bought 100, which probably is equal to about the time-wise and full skincare or whatever set these days in glamour. And I thought, she just made over $100 an hour. And that really floored me. And she wasn't pushy, and it was fun. And she didn't have a college degree. So I don't like putting 2 and 2 together. So you're just gonna fly through the highlights. She told me different stories. I'm not gonna bore you with this. You can get this on our website if you wanna go on there and see how we do it, all the avenues. But I will say this, when you get to the end, and you've kept it short and sweet, you're gonna ask 3 questions. And I want you to be able to find this, because then you're gonna report back to Audrey or Kristen and Megan. and they're gonna help you team build. But there's times where they're not gonna be there. You're sitting beside that gal in the baby shower and you're getting to mark this off on a piece of paper. I could do this in my dreams because it's right here. You don't have to wait until you go out for coffee. You don't have to wait till the perfect time. Word of mouth and enthusiasm is so critical. If you know the basics, you knew enough to put $100 down on the table to get your showcase, you know enough to recruit, all right? You don't have to know all the answers to start sharing. Your enthusiasm is more contagious than anything. And by the way, I met somebody at a Bible study, and we were walking out, and she was another mom of 4, and she had 4 foster kids that they had adopted. And so life was a little rough, and she was sharing how it was so nice to be away at a Bible study for 2 hours, and we were talking about that, and I said, and she just feels so good to get away. And I said, that's one of the reasons I love my Mary Kay. She goes, oh, I've heard about that. I said, and she goes, I've heard about the products, and they're good. And she says, and I said, gosh, you probably love something like this, because it's my getaway at least 2 nights a week. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, John stays with the kids, and I go get adult time and make money and use it to share the gospel. And I said, I love it. And she goes, really? So we were sitting there. I pull out a blank piece of paper on the top of my car, and we're just mapping out. I send her home with that blank piece of paper. And she met me the next morning, made a decision, and met me the next morning with a $3,600 money order to Mary Kay Cosmetics for a full inventory. She was a pastor's wife. I will never forget that. So here we are in the last week of June. You don't have to take 4 weeks to get somebody prepped and recruit them with your enthusiasm and what we have, but you do need to make that progress, what am I trying to say? Prospect list, thank you, getting tongue-tied, and just start going through it. And then getting excited, and I would snap a picture of it. If it were me, and I really wanted to move up to red, or I really wanted to move up to senior consultant, or I wanted to be a sales director, or I would love to have one of those cars out there that these gals drive, that Mary Kay pays the insurance for and the money. Would anybody of you like to have a free Mary Kay car? I mean, you do have to work for it. They don't just give it to you as a gift, but you earn it by holding at least 3 classes a week on an average and maintain that. Okay, that's about what I share and get to a team of 15, and we'll talk more later. But you can have that. Can you get that at your other full-time job or part-time job working 20 hours a week? They're going to give you the use of a free vehicle for 2 years, and at the end of 2 years, you can get a brand new one. That's like our 16th car. Wow. Yeah, my kids went through a lot of junk in the back and stains on the cars, so it was nice to be able to get a new one every 2 years, right? So, okay, but back to this, by sharing. I mean, what other company gives you a $100 bonus when you add 3 team members? Because you don't see us advertised in the newspapers, right? You're the advertisements. You're the walking billboard. You're the one that's making it look fun, exciting, and so sharing your story. But you get to the end, and I ask them 3 questions before I flip to the page. I ask them, of all the things you heard about Mary Kay, Morgan, what would appeal to you the most? And I listen. What else? What else? What else? And then secondly, thank you for writing that down, Brandy. That makes sense. And maybe they've already drilled you on this, and maybe you have different questions at the end. But I always say, of all the things you heard, what would appeal to you the most? What else? And it could be, gosh, just the girlfriend time. It could be, it was fun to work with makeup. It could be, I would love the business tax deductions. And you never know, but you flew through the highlights and you're starting to see what would be her trigger. And then at the end, also ask, is there any reason why you want to give it a try? I want you to practice this. This is closing recruiting 101. Ready? Go like this. Is there any reason why I want to give it a try? There we go. That's the big magic question. Is there any reason why I want to give it a try? And if they say, well, maybe, and I'll say, great. What it takes to get started is, well, if they say yes, I flip it over. It's $100 plus tax and shipping for the showcase. You get $400 worth of products. Can you believe it? For $100, and they're thinking, no, I just spent $200, and I got the roll-up bag. Here I could, but it's okay that they still did that, because I bought that $130, and she didn't say, oh, let me go back and give you a discount, or we'll put it towards there. I mean, I was just totally impressed, and I felt like that was worth my bang, and now I'm talking about a business decision to start my own business. I'm stepping over from a customer standpoint to a consultant standpoint, and so, I mean, just love it. Now, if they do ask you, if I made a decision today, could I get this? Yeah, okay, we'll talk about that later. But can you get excited about just saying, is there any reason why you want to give it a try? And you could be recruiting and call up Audrey and say, oh my goodness, I just added a new team member. So you have them fill out the application online. If that's new to anybody in here and you would not know how to do that on your phone, I would take your phone over to these whizzes right here, and I would say, show me how to pull up the application so I could do this week. I am going to share, and I am going to ask somebody if is there any reason why they want to give it a try. For $100, that's a trip to Walmart. Okay, we have spent that on bad dresses before. We have spent that much on some pretty crazy things that didn't have a 90% buyback guarantee. And then inventory is optional but recommended. And I always tell this right from the start. I say it's not a have to, but it's a want to, and it's a wise business move to have products on hand. And can you believe that Mary Kay gives us a 90% buyback guarantee? If for some reason you try this and you purchase some inventory to give yourself a best possible start and take advantage of the bonuses and you decide it's not for you, Mary Kay will take it, you just they destroy it, and they give you 90% back. Can you get excited about that? And I also say, gosh, I know at my school, or John's school loans, they didn't give him a 90% buyback. If he didn't get the job, or he didn't get what he wanted, or the kind of education or degree he wanted, nobody was going to pay off his school loans at 90%, right? So investing in this, and the fact that they take a 90% chance on you, and you take a 10% chance on yourself. And you've got this wonderful training, we'll support you, we'll encourage you, you're not in business, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Now, if they sign the application and they're ready to go, do not sit there and talk forever and ever. Just get their application and call them. And what I would put in their hands, and their first step is that beauty book. And I would say your first step, Dana, is just to get to know our wonderful product more and more. You already experienced it. I think you liked it. Get to know the prices, get to know the description. And so she's got that in her hand. That's the first step of training. I also like to tell her our next workshop where we get trained, our director's going to give you a call and welcome you, and you're going to love her. So sell her on the director who's going to call her and get to train with her so she knows she's not in this by herself. And I also ask her, and one of the things I would have you do is make a list of all the people you know with skin that breathe. Just make a long list. Anybody that you know has skin that breathes. If there's somebody else's customer, you try to, if you know your friend already gets from Susie, don't write her name down. But otherwise, everybody's fair game. And there's only 10% of the market right out there that are using Mary Kay right now. Even though we're one of the best-selling brands and have the most, it's still one of the best. So can you get excited about that? So what is the 3 things you're gonna do when you get a recruit? See if you were listening. First thing you're going to give her, make sure she knows the lookbook, right? Welcome on board, take over a look at her lookbooks, tell her to start studying that. Second thing, tell her director's going to call her and talk about that, and that's when our workshop is. And you know what? Just make a list of all the people you know with skin that breathe. That's all you have to do at that point. But have fun. Don't talk her in it as far as inventory. I wouldn't say, oh, I got started with a 225, or gosh, she just has to have 3,600 on hand. That's all I spent. You could freak them out. Yeah. And then watch what they do. I would be, if I wanted to be a recruiter, I would be like this on this girl right here. Sorry, don't like to be touched. But I would be like a tick on her, watching how when she pauses, when she talks, what she says. I would be following them around and just asking. I would be putting my customers in front. I would, truly, you know the secret to women I work with? I make a list of 5 key people out of my 200, 300 in my unit. Every month I make a new list of 5 women. And I'm looking for fat women. That sounds awful. Faithful, available, and teachable. They're looking at you. You're like tryouts for an incredible opportunity. And you can say, I want to be the star. I want to sell lots of money and I'd love to be earning 6 figures just from my sale of my products. And then you know what? I would love to build a team. I'm willing to work hard for a car, move up a career path, and I'd love to learn your job. I'd love to take over that pink suit and be the one who's in charge of the meeting. I'd love to increase my earning potential by 20 and 30,000 every year and not wait for my job to maybe give me a $5,000 raise. My husband, who's a mechanical engineer, when he first heard in reorders, that if you got 100 new customers a year, the average customer easily orders $100. That's $10,000 in sales. That's a $5,000 raise every year if you will just get 100 customers a year. That's 2 a week. That is part-time. Do you know how lovely it's going to be next June 2020 when you have 100 customers or more, or 200 customers? How many's in your customer base, Audrey?
A lot.
I know it, but there's a lot of people that order skincare. And I promise there's a lot of people out there today that did not like their job, did not like their circumstances, do not want to be not able to pay the bills next month, do not like their bosses, does not like it that they haven't gotten a single word of encouragement or a prize. So you have the key to that. And so I just want to challenge you to share. Recruiting is really just selling the opportunity. We sell the product, and then we sell the opportunity. What's in it for her? And everybody will want something different. And so I would love just so I get to know your name and the faces. If I can just close this, Lynn. I don't know how much more time I got. You guys are making me nervous with all those little. Sorry. Okay. So, but I would love to know your name and what's the